What's up, Kingdom family? It is your boy, the greatest Kingdom YouTuber under the heavens, your future great general Mikan, back at it with another Kingdom video. Today, we have the chapter 815 review. The action, the developments, the implications, let's unpack them all. Kingdom's latest chapter looks like the grand finale for this Han campaign is already near. In the north, Mouten is going up against Roboku's vassals. To the south, Ouhon against Gohoumei's, and here, Shin against Rikuakan's. It could not be more epic. The literal fate of Shin lies in the hands of these three youngsters. It truly is time for the rise of Shin's future six greats. Before we dive into the latest chapter, let's recap what has actually happened up to this point. First of all, using their newly established family registry, Shin was able to create three new, and I quote, staple armies as Shoheikun desired. With this, Mouten, Ouhon, and Shin all attained armies within the scope of a great general without the actual rank. But this alone already makes us realize the importance of their role in future wars. As a result, Shin is able to begin their Han campaign led by Tou, with Shin as his vice commander. While this is happening, Mouten holds off Xiao and Ouhon holds off Wei. To our surprise, as we ponder on how to conquer the first major city we've encountered, being Nanyo, Kyokai actually comes up with a plan that Tou also thought of, something beyond genius, to create a third army unknowingly by Han made up of old men and women as a form of psychological warfare to capture Nanyo without fighting. Masterclass. Moving on, Tou, with the help of Shin, manages to transform Nanyo into a city that accepts both Shin and Han affiliation, already paving the way for the unification of China through means of a utopia. This brings us to today. With Nanyo's political warfare out the way, it is time for them to finish up their military training in preparation for the true battle, the one on the plains. Now, let's get into chapter 815. I'd like to say there are three main focuses for this chapter. It's pretty obvious. The three upcoming battles to return Shin to their path of unification, starting with this whole Han campaign. There's Ouhon's battle against Gohoumei and his vassals, Mouten's battle against Roboku and his vassals, and Shin's battle against Rikuakan and his vassals. The way it's being set up is awesome. After all, starting with Ouhon, he was the one that created the strategy for defeating Gohoumei back during the Fire Dragons of Weir, something that to this day, Gohoumei clearly has not gotten over. Here he is still in his feelings, seeking revenge for what happened in Choyo. Meanwhile, like always, Ouhon is still himself, cool, handsome, and nonchalant. He knows the time has come. It doesn't matter if he goes up against Gaimou or Gohoumei himself. He's ready. As for Mouten, it is fitting that he is the one to go up against Roboku. After all, Osen recognized his talent as being someone that is already able to disrupt Roboku's schemes. Look how calm he is, and cool, and handsome, and nonchalant. And now onto Shin. Everyone has been complaining that Shin is the only one not worthy of promotion out of the young trio. Maybe that's true, but his time has come if it hasn't already before. If people need more proof that he deserves the promotion, it is he. It might be the likely choice that he fights Hakuyo Koku, but I'd like to throw a curveball and say Tou might defer again like he did with Ouhon, and let Shin best Rikuakan. Now, that would be a juicy feat for Shin to definitely become worthy of being promoted to Great General. This is why Han will really be Shin's arc. To begin with, let's focus up on Ouhon again. What does this second battle against Gohoumei mean for Ouhon's legacy? The first time, Ouhon's strategy worked flawlessly, and this was a less experienced Ouhon. He had Gohoumei running away with his tail between his legs. In chapter 392, Tou stated that he wanted this first battle to be an opportunity for the talented youngsters of Shin to challenge the mighty Gohoumei and prove their worth as those who will shoulder the military prestige of Shin in the future. Ouhon took this opportunity by the ass. Tou even admitted how genius Ouhon's plan was, referring to this era as the same as the one that saw the blooming of the past six greats, a golden generation if you will. Therefore, I think the plot twist will be that Ouhon will not get defeated here. It would make sense for Ouhon to lose the revenge match after winning initially, but Tou said explicitly that Ouhon had a chance to prove himself starting with the first battle, and prove himself he did. That's why this second go around against Gohoumei has to go Ouhon's way again, to solidify that he is already worthy of being one of Shin's greatest generals. Like Oki, Kyo, Hakuki, and all the past six greats, he should be able to go up against any great general of the other states without much difficulty. Now for Mouten, this isn't necessarily his first battle against Roboku, technically. During Western Xiao, Mouten held the left wing all by himself, which opposed Roboku's right wing led by Kisui. Despite being less experienced like Ouhon, Mouten was still able to hold off a great general in Kisui to a stalemate for the entirety of the campaign. Very impressive. In chapter 535, Mouten was even the first to be promoted to general, albeit temporarily, but still before Shin or Ouhon. It could be said that though Mouten does not have as high a ceiling as the other two, he makes up for this by having the highest floor. This means the other two may surpass him greatly later on, but he will and always has been the most reliable, consistently making the most logical choices on the battlefield rather than going for high risk, high reward. As a result, Mouten matching up with Roboku, or rather his vassals, is more than a fair matchup. It's almost as if mini Ouhon is out there on the battlefield right now. It's not just him being acknowledged by Ouhon, but the fact that he has experience and multiple successes against Roboku's strategies that make his bout against Xiao likely to be victorious. 1. During Shukai Plains, he completely nullified Roboku's detachment tactic on the first day, as slaying Mako did not collapse the left wing. And 2. He was responsible for executing the plan for breaking out of Roboku's cage in the Battle of Jian. Onto Shin. I don't want to make excuses, but Mouten and Ouhon are fighting against opponents that they are familiar with. Heck, even Oki struggled with an opponent that he had no previous knowledge on, so Shin fighting Rikuokan could be the same as Oki fighting Roboku. So don't be surprised if Shin has a harder time than the other two. Again, I don't want to make excuses though. I believe Shin will win. The difference here is that Shin will truly prove himself as Oki's successor by doing something that Oki couldn't, by winning against a nation holding a hidden military might, or more so, besting someone whose strength is unknown, just like Oki had to go through against Roboku. Furthermore, in the latest chapter, Gohoumei states that To and Shin cannot be defeated so easily despite their armies not being seasoned enough, as Han and other officials are led to believe. With this, I'd like to note that in chapter 110, during Baiyo, there was also a large disparity in strength between Shin and Xiao. The latter had 120,000 untouched elite soldiers, while the former had 100,000 farmers. I'll admit, the disparity here probably isn't exactly the same, but these experienced military personnel believe there is a clear difference. Anyway, Baiyo, it wasn't looking good, but I say this because it introduced an important theme, that the difference in soldier strength could only be made up with the strength of a general. Back then, it was Oki. Let's say this disparity is true. If that is the case, could it really be a coincidence that Shin is in the same position? Or is Hara, our GOAT, really a genius, and is using this parallel to show where Shin will shine, where Oki failed, using this latest Han campaign to represent Shin surpassing Oki? He will be the general whose strength makes up for this disparity, but wins. I mean, not only does the Gohoumei glaze reinforce this idea, he even says that Rikuokan's true strength is unknown to him. It can't be a coincidence. Han is set up to be a Shin masterclass. Ultimately, chapter 815, though isn't the juiciest of chapters, is setting up some epic and juicy battles in the near future. We are going to get victory after victory after victory. Ouhon, Mouten, and Shin stands. You will rejoice. It will be a huge W for the young trio, and will be their main stake placed forward for joining the 6 great generals of Qin. Each of them already have the great general level army. Now, it's time to prove it with great general level feats. So anyway, thank you for tuning in. Let me know what you guys think of this chapter in the comment section below. Did you enjoy this video? Check out my other videos. Be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to stay updated on my latest videos. I appreciate you guys.